Welcome, and thank you for taking the time to review this video, a short how-to if you mistakenly receive more quantity on a purchase order than you wanted to. This will correct or reverse the transaction and reopen the PO or the PO lines that you have mistakenly received. Let's go ahead and get started. So we'll first create a purchase order. The scenario here would have taken place where the purchase order was already raised. Days go by, stuff arrives and gets received, but we'll step through the scenario here. Enter your vendor ID, enter your item number. This happens to be a service item. Enter your unit of measure, hourly, quantity of 8 in this scenario. Enter your default site ID. Make a note of your purchase order number. We will look that up later and see the different status windows in GP for this purchase order. Here's the item number. It is a service with a unit of measure schedule ID of HR, and that is hourly on our system. We're going to go ahead and receive the PO right away. The scenario here is we should have received 1, but when the goods arrived, someone got distracted or what other things might have happened, and they received all 8 by accident. Make a note of the receipt number and go ahead and let's post this. Cancel through all these report. Close the window, and time goes by and someone realizes, or hopefully maybe someone realized right away, they received the wrong quantity and should have only received the 1. If you try and edit this purchase order in the purchase order entry screen, you will see you cannot, and that's because this is already received. You'll get the same message if the purchase order is closed or canceled. If you go to the inquiry window, enter the purchase order number, pull that up, go ahead and check the box for open purchase order and receipts, redisplay. You can see 2 line items here. One is the purchase order itself and the receipt. Now obviously in this scenario they both happen on the same day, but make a note of that purchase order status down below is now received. If you click into the line item, you can see the 8 were shipped. There's no more remaining to ship. All 8 are still open, not invoiced. All 8 are still not matched. Again, in the scenario, if time had gone by, this is where you could go into the receipt to review any details about that receipt. One more screen to look at is the smart list, and this is the shipments received but not invoiced smart list. You can see down below is our purchase order. I'm going to filter on this to remove those other line items, so we're just focusing on this one purchase order. And here it is. Quantity 8 was shipped. So how do we correct this? We should have only received 1, but mistakenly received all 8. So we want to create a return. The type is going to be return because we're not dealing with inventory, and it's not going to deal with the credit because we have not invoiced this yet. Get our return number, enter the vendor ID. We're going to go ahead and select this replace returned goods option. This will reopen the purchase order for us for the quantity that we're returning. Select your purchase order, select your item, select your receipt for that item, and let's go ahead and return 7. We should have only received 1, but we received all 8, so returning 7 will get us a net difference. Checking that replace return goods button will give us our purchase order reopened, and we want to do return type of return because we're not dealing with any inventory. And that's it. So let's have a look at the smart list again. We'll refresh that because quantity match right now is 0. You will see now that it's quantity matched of 7. That's because 7 of those have been matched to a return, not an invoice in this case, but a return. If you go to the purchase order entry window, you can see now you can Open this purchase order again. Drill into that line. Make a note of that status as released. Changed from received to released. Go ahead and drill into that line. You will see that 8 were shipped because that's exactly what happened. 7 were returned. Those 7 will be replaced. The remaining to ship is 7. Remaining to invoice is 8. And the remaining posted shipments to match is 1. So we had 1 shipment posted, not yet invoiced. That's that 1. And that's it. So that's how you can correct a receipt where you received more than you wanted to. This demo was done on GP 2015 R2. Same logic would apply in most other versions of GP. This will also work for an inventory item. You just have to use a different type. And this was not yet invoiced. You would have to do a credit if it was invoiced. Thank you for your time. Really appreciate it. Come back for more. Bye-bye.